G'day, punters. Welcome to another massive edition of All In. And we'll have our regular lineup back in play for Turnbull Stakes, Epsom Metropolitan weekend. Dean Watling, welcome back.
Thanks, fellas. I hope you didn't have too much fun without me. I'm sure Brody would have tipped up 1,000 winners and made a tough call this week for you, Gannon, if you brought me back or not. But good to be back here.
Look, Louis wanted you gone, but we flipped a coin and you're back. Louis Willoughby, how are you, mate?
Yeah, you're lucky, Dino. You're lucky you're a good-looking man. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been back on the podcast. No, yeah, good. This is a massive week. I know, look, you could probably go back through all our shows, and the amount of times I've said that would be $1 to be every single show. But I'm serious this time. This is the first real weekend of spring where there's dual Group 1s, both Sydney, both into Melbourne, and a real setting the tone for the real grand spring prizes at the end of the carnival. So if I was going to say that there is a massive week, let it be this one, and I won't use it again. This is a cracker.
Until we get to Cox Plate, Caulfield Cup, Derby, Melbourne Cup. But I tell you what, Lou, this is huge. And if you're not up and about this, you better give yourself an uppercut. Boys, was a massive weekend. Let's start off with Moir Stakes card. Louis did a great job on Sky Racing. Well done. I'll give you guys one to follow. Yeah, super stuff. Daisies was just phenomenal. Just follow it. They'll be winning again. There's my horse to follow from the Moir Stakes. Have you boys got any opinion on that card? Dino?
Yeah, I thought there were two we could really follow out of the meeting from the Moir. Obviously, everyone saw the bias, the rails leading. So I think Coolangatta went about even clear there. So that's her race to win. I think you can drop off her now. I don't think she's got another win in store for her. But the two behind her, Bellany Patina was wide throughout, closing around the bend. Palele was off the bit, chasing hard too. Their sectionals home once they balanced up were outstanding. I think those two runs were much better than the winners run. We can follow both them out. So Palele and Bellany Patina, Louis?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see come Manikato up to 1,200. I took an early look at the market on tab, and a lot of the top end was through that Moir Stakes. So you're right. Palele on face value is pretty disappointing. So we'll see, I think, 1,200, and now it's had a look around. I know it won there on debut, but to go back and have another look around, it should be improved. Bellany Patina, the Manikato could be her race to win if she draws well and everything goes right. Even Rothfire, I wouldn't be dropping off. They stuck to 1,000 metres probably once too long, and then up to 1,200 into a Manikato should be good. Had the perfect sit, but just got boxed by a really good ride on, I can't remember who was outside Rothfire. I think it was Craig Williams on whatever he was on. It's interesting, a lot of chat around Coolangatta going to an Everest. I still came out and said that I thought that was the case way back when. And even after this win, I'm still off. So I just think 1,200 metres. Although, to be fair, I was talking to a few people and they're keen still to see Coolangatta ridden with a sit. So maybe she got the benefit of the track there on Friday night and can go to another level if she's ridden with a sit. So who knows? But yeah, it was an interesting meeting. It was good to have night racing back. The rail was hot, and I knew it would be. I got my maps wrong sometimes, and that's the difference between winning and losing. So definitely, if you're punting at the Valley moving forward, punters during this spring and summer carnival, try and have a look at a speed map or figure out who you think's going to be finding the fence, leaders back, etc. It should really help you out, especially on those real firm decks that we're going to start to get the good threes. They can often be real highways. So it was an interesting meeting.
Super stuff. And I tell you what, punters, how devastating is it to see Bellany Patina just run right up after we had the overs a couple of weeks ago and they didn't lob in Sydney. Oh, it's a tough game, isn't it? Righto, there was another huge day. We had racing at Rose Hill, another massive day at Sandown. Just quietly, you can't put it as a Sandown. What a track. I know we said it on the Wednesday. What a track. Don't do that. Whatever's doing, stop. Don't do it. All the punters just go lay down on the home straight. Just don't let them do it. It's a cracking place to race. Dino, you got a case of beer off me by the smallest of margins. Well done. Fantastic. We'll move on. Can you boys give me one from Sydney, one from Melbourne, horse to follow? Dino, from the weekend?
Jacquino, I know he's a winner. He'll be following. I think he goes to an Everest and he can run really, really well in that. And from Melbourne, Pinstriped on Sunday at Sandown. He'll win a good race soon. Louis' horse, I think.
Louis, give us a ride of the week, mate.
Yeah, Damien Lane, you kind of mentioned it prior with Daisies. I'm going to give it to him for the bookends of the Moonee Valley program. The ride on KGB was equally as good. He was the first to sum that track up, racked them, stacked them, hit the fence, and slipped on the turn. I say it so often, if you're looking for a ride, a jockey to do something at Moonee Valley in those sprint races, that is just like get on your knees and worship it. Rack them, stack them, slip on the turn, and they won't catch you. Yep. You could have Chautauqua coming from last, but if you've slipped on the turn, he's not going to get there. So, yeah, D Lane, unreal. He's riding in form at the moment. So is Jamie Carr and a few others, but Damien Lane for me.
Wouldn't you love to see Joshy Parr or Timmy Clark just roll down to the Valley on a Friday night, just ride 4 of 8 each and just slide on home? They are the best of that.
Yep.
Anyway, Ty Angler, if you're sitting back doing nothing, watching the show, I don't know, Valley's for the boys.
Get them booked down there. Come on.
Get them booked. We'll have to take 5% each. They're all flying. They'll be fine. Righto, let's move on. We're going to go to the all-in plays and cover the Turnbull, Epsom and Metropolitan. Louis?
Yeah, let's get it. Let's start with the Turnbull. All these markets are all in, and thanks to the tab. Turnbull Stakes, Duais and Gold Trip, equal favourites at this stage at $5. Inspirational Girl. Mr. Brightside, whether they come or not, we're not sure. $8. Also Profondo's at $8. Fangirl and Hinged at 11, and then Great House at 15 with Numerian and Young Werder and Allegron and a few others. So a really open market at this stage, and a few there that may or may not be coming to this race. We'll have to wait and see, but that is, the beauty of an all-in market. You can get it right, you can get it wrong. Look, I'll quickly get mine out of the way here. I wasn't that keen to play in the race. I've thrown in Great House at $15. When I was looking at the profile of previous winners for this, it doesn't really fit it, but I just thought it was pretty good at Flemington first up over 1,700. And it's got a great second up record, 2 from 4 second up. So at $15 and what are we, about $4.50 a place with very little confidence in the race, that's the one I'll throw out there. But I'll go to you guys. Dino, have you found anyone?
Yeah, I really like Gold Trip here. I think face value is probably a touch disappointing last time out at Caulfield on that really wet track. He was dynamic first up, really showed a big turn of foot back towards the rails. And you often see that with these horses returning off big spells. They're dynamic first up, and then they can sort of have that in-between run, second up, and then really peak third up. So I think he's the one we can follow. Short enough, $5. I wouldn't be chiming in now. I think we get the same come race day, but I think Gold Trip's prime for a big performance. I like the Flemington track too. That's going to suit him a lot come Saturday. So Gold Trip for me, Gannon.
You can't argue. I think it might be on a Caulfield Cup half Gold Trip. So if you like it here and you think it'll be winning here, I think it was $26 earlier on, maybe 19s at the moment, the Caulfield Cup. So worth having a bet if you like in the Caulfield Cup, if you like in the Turnbull. For mine, Duais is the one. I understand there was some sort of interruption in the prep. Last prep it went 14 days, and it was 1,400, 1,600, 2,000 to win the Australian Cup by conservative 2 lengths, and could have been much more, I'd say. Was very, very impressive. Comes out, I just, if it reproduces that, I don't know how they get near it. If the horse has improved, which it suggests it probably has, it's on a Melbourne Cup path, what I'm hearing. $5, I'm happy to bet that.
What do you make of its last one, Dano?
Just a run.
Flat? Needs distance?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm honestly not concerned about these runs into a target. I think Louis might touch on it with Stockman, even though Stockman's been going pretty well. It's just a targeted race. I think this is a race they want to win, and I reckon they want to win the next 3 that they line up in.
I understand your point. If it comes out and reproduces that run in the Australian Cup, it wins. But I couldn't rate it to that at the moment. I don't think it is. I'm kind of in the camp of both here. I'm in the camp of you, Gano, that a target is a target, and you build towards that, and you don't have to be winning everything prior. But to Dino's point, I think Duais is probably just a step below where I was in that preparation for an Australian Cup. So, look, I'm a big fan. I think back into Melbourne where it's ran well and Flemington, et cetera, definitely could, but with no real good confidence could I probably say to rate to that meeting. But I hope it does, because it did us well last preparation. So you always like to see it bounce back if they do you well.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to the Epsom next. Again, thanks to Tab the Market. And would you believe it? Equal $5 favourites again. Hinged and Ice Bath here. Top ranked at $6. Fangirl at $7. Mr. Mozart and Nimmerly $13 and $4 a place. Converge, Crosstalk, Kiku, and Profondo at $17 with $26 and longer the rest. I am going to say Hinged, but to what you said, Dino, to the previous race, $5 is no real steal, is it? I want to tip it, and I think maybe it could be a bit shorter on the day, but I wouldn't want it to be. I think you maybe get the same. It had to do the donkey work in that George Main up on speed. I thought it stuck on really well. And that's a key lead-in race. It's going to be down in the weights here. Kind of had that probable profile from 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever it was, when it won this race. So I just think, unlikely to have to lead them up here, hopefully anyway, and with a sit can bounce back. And Chris Waller the day after the George Main speaking on Hinged and Fangirl, and he was kind of posed the question at this stage, who are you leaning towards? And he said that hopefully Fangirl will be bouncing back, but he was really taken with the run of Hinged. So if that's anything to go by, then Hinged for me in the Epsom. Gano?
Interesting one, isn't it? Like, I was a big Fangirl fan all along, but that second up run was no good. Sometimes it happens, sometimes they're flat. But for me, I think there's only one bet in the race, and we have, once again, a conservative 15 mil, potentially 40 mil of rain coming this week. Didn't lob last week. What are the chances of them being wrong twice? It's probably just as likely that them being right twice. If it comes, Ice Bath won't be $5. You'll be $3, maybe even a $2 in front of it. We're currently on a soft 7 rail out 3 meters. If we get to if it's a heavy 8, heavy 9, or even better for a heavy 10, it'll have a 2 in front of it. And Ice Bath's low flying, way better than it was last time in. I know Brad Whittett's been in the media suggesting that nothing's gone wrong. So everything sort of went wrong last few preps. Everything has been the perfect preparation, ready to go. I reckon it wins, and it's definitely my best all-in play, which we will get to.
Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. I think Fangirl come through the same race as Ice Bath, and they went slow there, and Ice Bath charged the line from much further back than most of these horses off a slow tempo. That's always a great sign. We're going to get a truer tempo, I think, here in the Epsom. We always do. Wet or dry, I think this horse is absolutely airborne. I think we say this every prep, but I honestly believe the Ice Bath's at its peak now. Probably should have won this race last year or been much more competitive with some better rides. And I think, Gunnar, your point's so valid here. $5 may seem short, but if James McDonald's booked and draws a gate, this could dead set start $2 in this race. I really think Fangirl, wet track, you pen her. Hinged is the only other one, Louis. I really like her. Blinkers went on last time, and she was really good back to the inside, and wet track she's going to handle. She's probably got the map advantage against Ice Bath as well. But it's probably a race this year that lacks that real up-and-coming horse, that big odds that we can sort of chime into. So we saw like Private Eye last year and a few others that you can sort of back at big odds this year. The market really looks like it's found at the top. So I'm quite keen with you going to Ice Bath here in the episode.
Yeah, there's 3 kilos between Hinged and Ice Bath in the weights. So there's a bit of advantage, Louis, there. I honestly thought it was its race to really produce. And would you say it was a pass mark, or was it above expectation last start?
With Hinged?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it was a pass. I don't think it was ridden to suit. It had to, didn't it? It led them up, didn't it? It was on the fence. I don't think that would do it. It kind of gave the toe into everything else in the race. So and had rights to probably fade out a bit more. I granted that they didn't go a quick tempo, I understand, but I just don't think it's the way to ride Hinged, and especially coming into an Epsom. If you could just take a sit, let something else lead them up, then we'll see. There's no horse.
One for the punters. There's 2.5 kilos difference. Hinged will meet Ice Bath 2.5 kilos the better on Saturday. There you go, mate.
Beautiful. There's no horse in the world that deserves a Group 1 more than Ice Bath, let's be honest. It's
that's very true.
Becoming a bit of a Tom Melbourne, touch wood, it can kind of break out of that. I don't think we, Ice Bath, and I'm not saying any horse deserves to be bagged off, but with respect to Tom Melbourne, he's probably sitting in his box going, why is no one talking about this thing? I copped it all throughout my racing career, and this thing's plugging around running second, and no one's saying anything about it. So
it'll change. It'll change. A bit of rain. It'll change come Saturday afternoon.
So there we go. All right, that is the Epsom. Now we're going to focus on the Metropolitan. Thanks to Tab again. Durston is a $4 favourite. Benno at $4.50. Cadre du Noir at $9. Stockman 11. Grove Ferry 13 with Mankayan and Surefire. And Arapaho is a $17 chance with a few others down the board as well. Dino, do you want to kick us off here for the Metro?
Yeah, I can't find a bet in the race, but I just don't know how they beat Durst. And I was super keen on Benno, I think like all of us, but he just doesn't attack the line. I've got that real query over him now, how genuine he is. Wouldn't be surprised I drop off this week and he wins, but no real opinion for me, boys. So I'll throw to you, Gannon.
Yeah, I've only got one, and I agree Durston's win was impressive, but that was a it's gone Wyong Cup, Newcastle Cup. Yeah, okay. I get it. Interesting. Benno meets Stockman 2.5 kilos better. And I think that Stockman, this was its target. Benno looks like a non-winner. As you said, Dino could win. But for mine, if there's one bet I'm going to have that the market hasn't probably found, I think Grove Ferry, $13. We probably could start that anyway, but just saw the quick backup. It was pretty good. You had to work for the win and did, and won well, and has the fitness, has that 2,400 metre run, which there's some really, really smart old heads out there that probably one of the first things I learned in racing is that over 2,400 metres, the best thing you could have is a 2,400 metre run. And that in its own, if we get a little bit of a wet track, TC hopefully on board, I'm assuming he's going to be in Sydney. He won't be actually. He's got 50.5 kilos. So I'm not sure who they'll find to ride that. Someone that hasn't had a meal, I'd suggest, on Friday night. But 50.5 kilos is going to give a massive sight, boys, at $13 and $4 a place, each way play.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I'm kind of going same vibe with a double figure runner. Stockman at $11. I think he's building very nicely towards a 2,400 metre run. Was great again through the line in the Kingston Town. And I just want to mention the Kingston Town because for this Metropolitan, that is a dead set key leading race. If I quickly can try and bring the stats up here. So we had Montefilia won this last year, came second in the Group 3 at Kingston Town, come and play with me, ran sixth in the Kingston Town. Patrick Aaron back in 2018, fourth in the Kingston Town. Sir John Hawkwood prior to winning in 2016, second in the Kingston Town. So it has been, at least for the past 6 years, that key leading. I thought Stockman's really good through the line, as mentioned. And as we've said already, rain scheduled all week. It's doing the rain dance in the box, just going more the better. Keep on raining. So I know we mentioned like a month or so ago that I thought after that first up run that Stockman was in for a big win, a good win this preparation, and I'm going to say this is it. So Stockman, $11 in the Metrop for me. Gatto, we'll go back to you. Your best all-in play, you did mention it earlier.
Ice bath, baby.
Dino?
I'll jump in the ice bath with Gannon.
Hey!
Did you tip it in that race? Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's just copying me again, Louis. Don't worry.
Yeah, good. Okay, 2 ice baths. And I'm going to go Giga Kick in the Danehill Stakes, one we haven't mentioned. Undefeated runner, 6 weeks between runs, but has trialled in the interim, looks to remain undefeated. Mick Price and Michael Kent Jr. have got the favourite at the moment off a Geelong maiden win, which was very smart, but it's like $2.40. I could not believe the price. It could come out and blow them away, as we always say, whatever. But wowie, not at that price. I think Giga Kick was second favourite, high threes, 360 maybe even. So when I was scanning the market, saw it was in, and the race really falls away after that with the all-in. So Giga Kick in the Danehill down in Melbourne for me, Gannon.
Outstanding. Punters, as always, please jump on, like, subscribe, comment. We'll chime into our Wednesday best bets, or our midweek best bets in a minute. If you do have a winner for us, though, feel free to jump into the comments below and give us a shout. Let us know your winner, and maybe we even give you a wrap on next week's show. Righto, boys, we're going to go midweek best bets. Dean Watling, kick us off.
Mine comes up Wednesday, fellas. We're at Rose Hill this week. What a treat. So race 2, number 5, Pirelli. We were on it last start. It was a good thing beat. James McDonald Sticks has to overcome the wide barrier, but Pirelli will be winning race 2 at Rose Hill Wednesday, Gano.
Dino, how far is the rail out on Wednesday at Rose Hill? Any idea?
I'm guessing it's out 7 meters.
No, sorry, I just brought it up. Only 4 meters. No, I just wanted to protect the, our Sydney tracks against those Mexicans will start blowing up with the rails at 7 meters, going, oh, it's a leader bias again. Mate, if you put the valley out 7 meters, fair income would just be a single file. Anyway, Louis, what do you got for us?
That's true. Just find more winners. Don't worry about a track bias. Just keep backing winners.
Just work it out. Exactly.
Craven, race 1, number 10, Rule of Time. Second up here into its career, was very good on debut at Geelong, ran third. It's pretty big odds there. It was double figures, 16 or 26, one of the two, doesn't matter now. But got back near last. It was a huge leader bias that day at Geelong. Straightened up widest in the race, ran home meeting fastest last 4 and 2. And the tempo wasn't slow either. They ran a pretty even tempo in front because they knew that leaders were advantaged. So I thought it was really, really good against the bias. Second up can improve and hopefully gets onto a bit of a drier track as well. Race 1, number 10, Rule of Time.
You are the king, Louis. Thank you very much. And boys, before I wrap up with my midweek best bet, I reckon for a month, amongst the minds, the three of us here, we were declaring that it was a 2-horse race, that Golden Rose, Jacquinot in secret. So pat on the back. Well done, lads. We finally produced something for the followers.
Thank God.
Up we go. I'm going to go to Grafton. Race 6, number 11, Miss Super. No, Dino's done the Grafton card. I don't think he found this one. But she ran the fastest last 8, 6 and 4 of the meeting last start. 2 starts back, was dynamic. Last start came out, was cluttered behind a slow tempo, got to an awful position, untested the entire straight, and was finished 3.6 off the leader. The horse is airborne, gets to barrier 10 down the middle of that Grafton track. Miss Super.
Any price yet?
550. Yeah.
Hang on, let me get on. I want to get on first before Dino gets on.
It'd be 380 if Dino gets on. He's a jet.
He already texted me asking from a Grafton mail. I sent it to him. He just uses it to back against.
Pen.
I haven't done the scratches yet. Send me your best bets. Okay.
Love it. All right, boys. Thank you so much for your time. Cracking show as always. Punters, please chime in. As we've said in the past, your feedback and comments are our oxygen. We love it. Get up and about it. So thank you very much, boys. Until next week.
Thanks, fellas. Bye.